So now I've got the issue resolved. So now I'm just gonna wait for some people to appear, and then we'll get the show on the road and show you guys what is about to happen. So yeah. Okay. Just wait. And okay, so now what we actually have going on is that we do have an enhanced risk in effect for most of northern Iowa into southern Wisconsin and southern Minnesota. Now what is actually going to happen here is that at this time it appears an MCS or multiple clusters all containing destructive winds will move through, especially through the slight enhanced risk areas, and wreak havoc there. Now, what you may have noticed a significant change from the last outlook is that the enhanced risk has been moved to the south. Per latest runs with those, they're showing that although there's still differences, that is taking a slight southerly turn, but the models keep changing, so I wouldn't be too surprised if this was lifted back north or it continues going south. Who knows? So, right here, again, enhanced risk. Now I'm going to show you that tornado risk. Right here, we do actually have a 5% tornado risk. Several tornadoes are possible with, so here, so right here, especially, and also right here, you would expect it to be mainly during the supercellular mold that some tornadoes could occur, but then as you move to over here though, then those are where they would become brief and weak tornadoes embedded within the MCS that is expected to move through the region. So, although they're brief and weak, they could still be dangerous, and not to mention just cause even more wind damage with already what's looking like going to be a lot of damage. Now, actually, at this point, it's looking like if a higher tornado and slash or wind threat is realized, then an upgrade to moderate risk is not out of the question. And there is also, according to some models, the potential of it becoming a derecho. So, also watching that, looking like it'll just be MCS, but it will still contain destructive winds, so dangerous nevertheless. Then, for hail, initially it looked like the hail would stay with the supercells before dissipating as it turns into MCS, but one, it's looking like some of the stronger cores embedded within the storm could actually contain large hail, but also some thunderstorms could develop behind the main line, and that is what's gonna be causing issues. So, and then for wind, there's a 30% risk. Now, again, due to uncertainties, they aren't adding significant wind threats just quite yet, but I would be surprised if the first outlook tomorrow either one, there's a moderate risk and slash, or two, they add a hash area for significant damaging winds, as some models to indicate up to 80 or even 85 miles per hour. So, again, watching that potential that there's obviously the hail and tornado threat to add on to all of that mess. So, that's convective looks of things. Now I'm gonna show you guys the models. So I'm gonna first off go to the newly run ATZ NAM. So let's go right on over to composite reflectivity, see what it has to show us. And then forecast loop, honestly, for streams and videos, forecast loop is the easiest to use rather than just clicking on individual images. So here, scroll down a bit. Okay, so skip right on over to so 7 a.m. The NAM shows the clusters of a couple strong thunderstorms over western Iowa, and then by 10 a.m. you could definitely notice some development right over here. Now that's where the supercellular stage could begin as early as 10 a.m. This is gonna be a almost entire day length and night severe weather outbreak. So it will definitely be good to have a weather radio on hand or just to enable notifications on your phones. So anyways, move on to 1 p.m. You'll notice a bit of organization towards southwestern Wisconsin right around the La Crosse area. Now, that's where the damaging wind threat really starts to increase, and then obviously some more supercell thunderstorms there. And then 4 p.m. you can see a lot of activity going on again. Some of this is drawn to severe. Hello, Jonathan Moore. How are you doing? I am doing great myself, and we'll tell you right now, I am pretty anxious about this. I'm in this too, so yeah. So 4 p.m. Then comes 7 p.m. You definitely notice more activity developing here, and then that weakening activity over there. And then, so looks like the NAM actually delays when the actual MCS occurs, but has it developing right around here because this does once every 3 hours, so you have to do a bit more behind. So right there would be the zone of development before it moves to the east and northeast at that time. So that's where the damaging wind threat becomes especially prevalent. So there's that. And then see, it looks like the MCS will actually be a rather slow mover. There either 1 or 2 is moving in such a perpendicular direction. If that is true, not only could there be a prolonged period of strong winds and hail, but also torrential rainfall, which will inevitably lead to flooding concerns for many people who are in its path. So that's another concern that many don't think about is the flooding risk. So the NAM has quite a scenario. So you have scattered supercellular activity, and then suddenly the MCS move through. So again, it is going to be a very active day. So don't be surprised if your phone is going off all day. Then I'm going to show you the 18C run of the Her. I haven't seen it either. So again, this is completely new. The 12Z run was a bit weaker with it, but still pretty powerful with it. So actually here, let's skip right. I will actually go right on ahead to this region. The storms going on today is what completely shape what happens tomorrow. So if the MCS, if the cluster forming today goes at the right place at the right time, tomorrow's gonna be a mess. So that is why today will be especially important. So yeah, there's that aforementioned cluster. As you can see, storms here and here, loosely organized so far, but then that. So this is 9 a.m. by the way. It's p.m. I mean. Oh wait, actually, 8 p.m. for you guys. Jeez, time zones mix me up. So 9 p.m., 10 p.m. your time. You'll notice it blowing out. That definitely is an indicator of damaging winds. There's actually enhanced risk for you today for widespread damaging wind gusts in this associated with this cluster. So again, this cluster literally determines what happens tomorrow. And then go to 10Z. You'll notice that it actually sustains itself for quite a long period of time. I mean, by the time it's approaching Sioux Falls, although it won't be in the strength it used to be, it will still be locally severe with marginally severe winds still definitely possible. So I will actually move on to Midwest here. Now, this is where the big show is gonna happen. This is what has me worried. So there you have 7 a.m. Central Daylight Time. It goes through Sioux Falls. Still weakening, but then you can see it's still an isolated severe cell embedded within the cluster as indicated by the smile. Large hail and high winds likely possible. Then move on to 10 a.m. though. Then you'll notice some strengthening of the cluster actually. This here looks like some that is actually wind. That is a gust front from the storm segment right here. That's a gust front. So definitely shows that impacts can occur well outside of a storm. That's a huge gust front. So that's another thing. This storm is forecast to bring a combination of downburst winds, gust fronts, and what I would call backflow winds from behind the storm, because the storm actually will produce a mesovortex somewhere around here in northeast Wisconsin and southern upper Michigan, where it will actually turn into its own low pressure system and generate strong wind gusts of 35 to even 50 miles per hour 1 to 3 hours after the storm's done. So you already have the storm damage, but with that wind continuing, any weakened trees will still fall and additional damage will occur, and that will hamper power restoration efforts. So that's another concern. And then comes 1 p.m. You can see the storm itself actually blow out. And it's with this blowing where you'll notice that, again, intense damaging winds can occur. And then some cells could and behind the storm. That is where some of those cells could actually develop. And then 4 p.m. it starts approaching Appleton and Green Bay, noticeably a bit, but still strong overall. Then you have strong to severe storms here and more strong to severe storms here. And only more will develop. And then 5 p.m., 6 p.m., it starts breaking apart. But again, as indicated in some parts, you can still see the gust front visible with this. I mean, we'll bring an intense gust front with this. But then a smaller cluster actually also shows another smaller cluster forming here and here. And then 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m. So it shows yet another MCS develop. This is one of the more worst case scenarios out there. 2 MCSs plus supercellular thunderstorms and some clusters. So this happens, definitely moderate risk will be needed. And as again indicated by these models, there could be some significant damaging winds, as in up to 80 miles per hour, and quite frankly, maybe even stronger. So that's what has me worried. And then you have 60, so 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. So again, this could last into Thursday morning for some people, especially up here. Still showers and storms. And then it doesn't accurately measure thunderstorm winds, but gives you an idea. Because if it can barely detect thunderstorm winds and showing up to here 27 knots. Obviously, it will be much stronger, but 27 knots, then you know it's going to be intense. So as you can see, it actually shows the wind reaching its peak strength. The MCS itself strength right around here. Right in that zone would be where you could see it reach its maximum intensity in wind, large hail, even some tornadoes. So this will pack quite the punch, and is why you need to prepare now if you haven't already, and enable alert notifications on your phones. And if you have a weather radio in hand, then good job. I'm gonna show you the NAM 30KM. I'm curious what it shows, because this one has been in the past runs popularly supporting multiple clusters rather than MCS or more in her model's case, just throwing a bunch of MCS. In which, by the way, for those of you who don't know what MCS is a mesoscale convective system, not as intense as a derecho, but at least in terms of size, but in strength, though they can sometimes be equivalent. So gotta watch out for those. But anyway, so yeah, this one has it really clustered out in Iowa, and then here's 1 p.m. Also delays the timing, which is why I think this may actually be an outlier when it comes to timing. Is that it actually delays it by a couple hours. So I would consider this, at least timing wise, outlier. So 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m. So as you can see, it would show some thunderstorms, a couple of which could become supercells. In Wisconsin, that would be associated with the warm front. So warm front cells, those can contain tornadoes and can also contain damaging wind gusts and large hail. Then that moves on, and then nothing much. So then this one actually has the MCS developing down to Iowa and southern Wisconsin. Quite frankly, I think this is an outlier. None of the other models support this, so I'm afraid although it's still something to consider, I mean, it's not something we're going to be paying the most attention to, at least for this run. Now, other runs are going to pay attention to see what it has to say, but otherwise, yeah. We're not going to be relying on it. So, now to show you the European model. As seen in last night's video, the 00Z run actually had it as it being the most intense out of all of the models, with a huge bookend vortex and huge microvortex and just massive winds. What about Thursday? Thursday, actually, the severe threat has been lower than thought yesterday. I honestly thought it would be a big threat too, but as it turns out, it will be more of a marginalized threat now. Obviously, I'm doing great worldwide weather. Thank you. By the way, shout out to worldwide weather. He is doing a lot of streams with hurricanes in the tropics. So if you're interested in the tropics, go to him. And he will also occasionally do severe weather streams. So again, good guy, good streamer. So subscribe to him now if you haven't already. So again, Thursday, threat will be marginalized. Nothing too severe, but still attention worthy. And then here, oops, I'll X out the tab. So now to show you the storm itself. Oh gosh, wow, wow. Again, the European model, actually the meteorologists are actually in favor of the European model, quite frankly, because apparently it is most in line with what is expected to come. Obviously, they're relying on other models as well, but they're taking word from this the most. So it has 2 clusters and a disorganized low pressure system already. So one in Iowa and then one in Wisconsin. I think it would. This is 7 p.m. by the way, Central Daylight Time. So as you can see, definite differences in timing. But oh gosh. Geez. 2 a.m. 1001 millibars. See, here's the thing. It has a large precipitation shield for a storm its size, and not to mention the storms are lining up from Iowa all the way to Wisconsin. And obviously, this will bring in massive wind gusts, some of these gusting to 70 miles per hour or stronger. So, gonna be very intense, very powerful. This is the worst case scenario for all of them. But then by 7 a.m. in the morning, though, it does break apart. So, honestly, that is a very bad scenario. Yup. Uh-oh. Jonathan. Definite uh-oh. So yeah. Be right back. Gotta grab something. Okay, never mind. Thought I forgot something, but turns out I didn't. So, now, you just saw the European model on how it is the most intense of them all, ranging from supercells to just this monstrosity right here. This is what especially has me worried about tomorrow, and would definitely cause the National Weather Service to issue a moderate risk. So, and not to mention, with the significant wind gusts the Saints hinting, wouldn't be too surprised if they added significant wind probabilities. Plus, again, just to recap, tornadoes are also possible within the storm, especially near wherever the microvortex occurs. So in this case right here, so if you are by this 1001 millibar low pressure system, in which I happen to be, I'm right here. Tornado threat as well. Tornado. And wind. Tornado wind. There goes my sunflower. Only one sunflower left, and what happens? This. So, let's see about any of the other models, and then I'll just do a quick recap for any of you that may have not seen some of the earlier parts. So, gotta quickly check to see if these models can reach far enough. I don't think they can. But if they do, that would be awesome. Because I want to show as many scenarios as possible just to see what the overall blend is, and then just create a general forecast from there. So again, has a somewhat intense line there. Noticeable gust front right there, but then weakens. But then, whoops. What is this thing doing there? 1 p.m. though, intense MCS moving up northeastward through Wisconsin. But don't know if you guys can see this, but look at this micro vortex. This one develops it early and circulating right over the Twin Cities, so that would actually filter in strong, as I would call, backflow winds and filter them throughout the region and cause gusts of up to 50 miles per hour for as long as 2 to 3 hours after the storm leaves. And this only occurs with the most intensive storms and is a rare phenomenon. Only happens with derechos or very intense squall lines. And then line breaks apart. But just because the heavy rain doesn't mean the wind won't. That's another thing. That this storm will be very misleading. Just because the rain's gone, many people will say, oh well, it's done. But no, it will actually still eject that gust front, and although not significant, it could still reach 50 to 60 miles per hour. So definitely would be advised that you don't let your guard down. Worldwide weather was in the enhanced risk earlier, but now it is just to my south, but I would be too surprised if they lifted it back up to the north, so I'm now in the slight, but actually it just reminded me, so once, and then again, another cluster forming. So that was that mile. Here. Once I'm done looking at this one, I'll do a quick recap of the day 2 convective outlook and then come back to miles and then just show you guys what overall day shows. So far pretty consistent, but I mean, it's pretty near. I mean, if you're not consistent, not good. Okay. A lot of differences already from the last one. But then 1 p.m., not quite MCS level yet, but still an intense squall line stretching from Pepin County all the way down to Grant County, Wisconsin, and then down to here near Dubuque. And then move that forward to 4 p.m. 4 p.m. it's approaching Rockford, and Appleton here, Green Bay, and then Antigo, and then Merrill. But then also more storms down here, some of which could be supercellular. So, again, tornado risk down there. Then, actually develops here, and you can see some chance of a gust front right here within the storm. So, again, intense wind gusts possible. And then that happens. So, wherever the storms train the most, expect to see flash flooding because it's here. Total accumulated QPF. Just to give you guys an idea of just how much rain could potentially fall during this period. It's going to be a lot. Wow. Jeez. Up to 5 inches of rainfall in spots. Other than wind and already, that's another underlying threat, heavy rain. Heavy rain. So now I will quickly back to the Storm Prediction Center page on Pivotal Weather. Yeah, again, for those of you who have just now come in, the newest Storm Prediction Center update has brought down the enhanced risk to the south a bit. But again, as we just saw with the 18C rundown, it's starting to lift things further north again. Like, still a lot of activity down here, but then also a lot up here. So I wouldn't be too surprised if they sort of say, per se, just lifted it more north to say like that. Like, not by too much they would need to do, but it would be there. Now, if there's to be a moderate risk right now, I would say so far it's looking like it would reach peak intensity right here. So I would say if there's to be a moderate risk, it would be right here in the hash zone I'm making. That would be where you would expect most likely to see a moderate risk issued. So now obviously it can still be expanded here, but so far though, I would say with the miles showing it really intensifying here though, then I would say the moderate would be here. So again, I live right around here. I know a precise spot, but I'm not going to give you guys a precise spot. So I'm in the slide. And so here. By the way, question for you guys, but can you clearly hear me? Complaints from a certain somebody who keeps complaining that I need to speak my native tongue. I don't know why he's saying that. I only have one language, English, and always been America, never born anywhere else. So I mean, don't know why he's suddenly complaining about. He claims that I have this like sort of accent, so I don't know if you guys can clearly hear me, but so far it's looking like everyone else has no problem, so I'm thinking it's just his device or something. And so again, to get back on topic, 5% tornado risk. Any tornadoes, almost said torpedoes. Any tornadoes will be embedded within the line. And then here, though, would be also due to supercellular activity, and up here would be due to warm front advection. And wind, definitely the predominant concern. And then hail, they've actually extended it to northeast since it's looking like some of the stronger pockets within the MCS, plus developing activity afterwards will actually keep that hail, large hail threat to the northeast as well. So, okay, you can clearly hear me. Okay, thank you for verifying that. Honestly, though, again, I think it's just his device. So, that's that. I'm gonna show you the College of DuPage water models and show you her wait till you see what they're showing. When I was talking about the microvortex earlier, I will show you what I mean by the backflow winds afterwards. Again, rerun does that, and then a second MCS. But what I like about this mouse that it actually shows the wind gusts in the storm too. Like, obviously not completely accurate, but it's there. So again, it would actually reach its peak intensity once it enters central Wisconsin and then lasts into northeastern Wisconsin to Door County. That's where it could actually reach its peak strength wind wise. And then looks like it weakened itself a bit on the wind, but it's still showing gusty winds. What looks like about up to 35 knots in spots. So still around 40 mile per hour wind gusts, which is still pretty gusty, especially for the summer. That is something of typical for winter or autumn or early spring. So it's going to be pretty unusual. Now, it's the NAM NEST, though, that especially is in favor of the gusty backflow winds. So then, right here, has it more to the south. Don't know if it's out there, but it would show strong gusty winds long ahead of the storm. But I'm thinking that's an outlier sort of deal. So yeah. Okay, the rest of this stream will be done without volume. And actually, you know what? I think I've pretty much discussed everything that I need to for now. Stay safe and stay weather aware. I will be posting more as this event comes, and I will be definitely streaming this event live. So, bye.